It was an unusually warm spring in Prague. The kind of spring that made the cobblestone streets gleam under the late afternoon sun and brought life to the narrow alleys where history whispered from every corner. Anna, a red-haired Czech woman with freckles dusting her nose like cinnamon, loved this time of year. She had always been fascinated by people, how they moved, how they spoke, how they carried the weight of their stories. That fascination often drew her to cafes, where she could observe strangers over cups of steaming espresso, feeling almost invisible yet perfectly present in the shared hum of the city. That afternoon, she wandered into a small, charming cafe tucked between a bookstore and an antique shop, a place she had never noticed before. Its sign was hand-painted in faded gold letters, Café Manila. Intrigued, she pushed open the wooden door and stepped inside. The aroma was unlike anything she had smelled in Prague before. A rich blend of coffee, cinnamon, and something slightly tropical she couldn't place. Her eyes immediately fell on a young man arranging pastries behind the counter. He was striking dark hair slightly curling at the ends, skin warm like the sun, and a smile that seemed to light the room. But what caught her off guard was the aura of calm confidence he carried, the kind that makes people feel at ease without even trying. "Hello!" He greeted in perfect Czech, though with a soft, melodic accent she couldn't quite place. "Hi," she replied, slightly flustered, not used to being greeted so warmly by strangers. "What do you recommend?" His smile widened. "It depends. Are you in the mood for something sweet or something that reminds you of the Philippines?" Anna paused. Curiosity piqued. "Philippines?" "Yes," he said, gesturing to a small display of pastries she hadn't noticed. "We have bibinka, a kind of rice cake, and ensaimada, which is like a soft, buttery bun with cheese. Very popular there." Something about the way he said it made her smile. "I'll try the bibinka." As he prepared it, Anna watched him move, fluid and precise, each motion deliberate but effortless. When he handed it to her, their fingers brushed, and a strange warmth passed through her, a sudden awareness that life had just shifted slightly in its axis. "What's your name?" she asked, unable to stop herself. "Marco," he replied, his accent softening the name into something almost musical. "And you are?" "Anna." "Anna?" he repeated as if tasting the name. "Beautiful name." He smiled shyly, and Anna felt her cheeks heat. From that day, she found excuses to visit Café Manila. Some days she came for the pastries, some for the coffee, but mostly she came to see Marco. He would talk about his life in the Philippines before moving to Czechoslovakia, a small coastal town where mornings smelled like the sea, and afternoons were filled with the laughter of children and the chatter of neighbors. He described his family with a tenderness that made Anna's heart ache in a way she had never experienced. "You know," he said one day, leaning against the counter as she sipped her coffee, "we Filipinos believe in bayanihan, helping one another, sharing life's burdens, even in small ways. It's how we live." Anna smiled. "That sounds beautiful. Something I feel is missing here sometimes." Their conversations flowed easily, touching everything from favorite childhood games to the difficulties of adapting to a foreign country. Marco confessed that learning Czech had been a challenge. Not just the language, but the culture, people's reserved smiles, their quiet ways of showing care. Yet somehow, Anna made him feel understood, as if the distance between them was measured not in kilometers, but in understanding and warmth. It was during one late afternoon in May, when the city was washed in golden light, that Anna realized she was in love. She had come to the cafe, as usual, to sip her coffee and watch the rain start to fall outside the large windows. Marco was cleaning the tables, humming softly when he looked up and caught her staring. Their eyes met, and for a moment, the noise of the city faded. "You look thoughtful," he said. "I was just thinking," she replied, a little breathless, about how life brings people together in the most unexpected ways. Marco tilted his head. "Do you mean like this?" "Yes," she whispered, almost afraid to say it out loud. "Exactly like this." The first kiss was awkward, sweet, and hesitant, like two friends discovering a new dimension of their relationship. But it was also undeniable, filled with the sort of magic that only appears when timing, place, and hearts aligned perfectly. As weeks turned into months, Anna learned more about Marco's culture and he learned about hers. They celebrated Filipino holidays with his stories and laughter spilling into her tiny apartment. She tried cooking adobo, fumbling with the spices, while he laughed but offered patient corrections. He taught her Tagalog words, often whispering them in her ear with a mischievous grin. "Mahal kita," he said one evening as they watched the sunset over the Vltava River. Anna laughed. "You just taught me to say, 'I love you. You're sneaky.'" "I prefer honest sneaky," Marco replied. Much better than pretending. Their love wasn't without challenges. Marco faced moments of homesickness, missing the smell of the sea and the rhythm of his hometown. Anna struggled with her family's expectations. They had never met anyone like Marco before. Someone from so far away, someone with a different culture, different language, different life. Yet in these moments, love proved its resilience. They learned patience, understanding, and compromise, discovering that love is not just the flutter of the heart, but the quiet act of being present for each other in ways that mattered most. One evening, they walked through Old Town, the cobblestones glistening after a light rain. Marco held Anna's hand tightly, squeezing it with a mix of reassurance and affection. "You know," he said, "I never imagined I would find someone like you here in Prague, of all places." Anna looked up at him, her eyes soft. "I never imagined I would fall in love with someone from the Philippines either. Life is unpredictable, isn't it?" He laughed, a rich, warm sound that made her heart leap. Unpredictable, yes. But sometimes the unpredictable things are the best things. It was during one of these walks that Marco suggested they visit a Filipino community gathering in Prague. Anna had never been, and she was nervous. What would it be like? Would she fit in? But Marco's hand in hers was steady, grounding her. The gathering was filled with music, laughter, and the aroma of familiar Filipino dishes: sinigang, lechon, pancit. Anna felt like she had stepped into another world, one that was alive with warmth and welcome. Marco introduced her to his friends, and though she felt shy at first, their friendliness and curiosity soon made her feel at home. "That's the thing about Filipinos," Marco said, leaning close so only she could hear. "We make everyone feel like family. It doesn't matter where you're from," Anna smiled, feeling the truth in his words. She looked around at the crowd, sensing the connection, the care, the communal spirit that Marco had described so many times. She realized then that love wasn't just the romance between her and Marco. It was also the invitation to experience a culture, a tradition, a sense of belonging that transcended borders. Months later, Anna found herself preparing for her first trip to the Philippines. Marco had promised to show her his hometown, the beaches, the streets, the markets, the places that shaped him. She was nervous. What would it be like to step into a world so different from her own? But more than nervous, she was excited because she would experience it with Marco by her side. When they finally landed in Manila, the heat and humidity hit her like a wave. But she didn't mind. Everything felt vibrant, alive, almost intoxicating. Marco's family greeted her with open arms, teasing and laughing as they fussed over her, offering her food and insisting she try every dish, from halo halo to lechon. Anna felt a mix of amusement, embarrassment, and gratitude. She had never experienced such open warmth before, and it touched her deeply. During the trip, Marco shared stories of his childhood, his adventures, the small miracles and daily joys that shaped his perspective on life. Anna listened, laughed, and sometimes cried, realizing that love was also about witnessing the world through someone else's eyes, feeling what they felt and cherishing it as your own. On the last evening of her visit, they sat on the sand, the waves gently lapping at their feet. Marco held Anna close. "I want you to know," he said softly, "you're not just part of my life, you're part of my story. And I hope to be part of yours, wherever life takes us." Anna rested her head on his shoulder, feeling the weight and warmth of his words. "I never expected this," she admitted. A café, a smile, a foreign accent. And yet, here we are. Marco kissed the top of her head, whispering, "Here we are." And I wouldn't change a thing. And in that moment, Anna knew that love wasn't just a matter of countries, cultures, or even language. It was the quiet recognition of connection, the courage to open your heart, and the joy of discovering that sometimes the most unexpected meetings could become the most beautiful beginnings. As they watched the sun set over the Philippine horizon, painting the sky in fiery reds and golds, Anna felt a profound sense of gratitude. She had come to the Philippines as a stranger to its culture, yet she had found home not just in the land, but in a man whose heart matched her own in warmth, humor, and devotion. In the weeks that followed, Anna and Marco navigated the balance of their lives between Prague and Manila, learning the art of compromise, the beauty of shared traditions, and the subtle ways love could bridge worlds. They celebrated Czech holidays with Filipino flair, and Filipino traditions with Czech curiosity, creating a tapestry of memories that belonged to neither land alone, but to them together. Anna often reflected on that first spring afternoon, the moment she stepped into Café Manila. How a simple choice, a curiosity for a new flavor, and the smile of a stranger could change a life so profoundly. Love, she realized, was full of such unexpected turns, and the journey was as beautiful as the destination. And as long as they had each other, Anna knew that no matter the distance, no matter the differences, their story would continue to unfold rich, vibrant, and alive, much like the city that had brought them together.